good morning, good evening, wherever in the world you're listening to me from. This is CanDid Moment with Fortunate on Heartsong Live Radio, your voice of inspiration. As we can see today, I'm solo in the studio. Fortunate isn't here, but it is me in his creative mind, also known as Gijo, for those who know and love me. I'm here today with a very beautiful topic, with a very beautiful, we're going to have a really good time today because we're just going to be reflecting. We're going to be, giving tributes to one of the most special people, I would say, and one of the biggest blessings and biggest gifts that life gives to us, and that is mothers. Today's topic of discussion and reflection is a mother's love, a tribute a reflection, a healing. We're going to be talking about very many different aspects of motherhood, why mothers are special, what makes them special, what being a mother really is. And we're just going to be talking about many different aspects about motherhood today. So I really do hope that you, hi Arike, thank you very much, would stay on with me up until the end and learn a thing or two from today's session. So to kick off, I'm going to be playing Mama by Yemi Alade, just to kick off, to lay the foundation for today's topic. It's a nice feel-good song about mothers, and what better song to start off our day with than Mama by Yemi Alade.
Wonderful mama, my sweetie mama, my beautiful mama. Confused, oh mama, mama don't get back to. You don't need to confuse. This woman has come through. Thank you, mama, mama. Did you give my all for mama? You love me when nobody loved me. You hugging me when nobody cared for me. When I see you see, you love me like no other. I'm strong, but you are stronger because you are my mother. When I laugh, you give me so much laughter. You sweet me like no other because you are my mother. Mama, don't get back to, oh mama. No need to confuse, oh mama. Mama, don't get back to. You don't need to confuse. This woman has come through. This woman I love you. Mama, wonderful mama, my sweet mama, my beautiful mama. Mama, you telling me say when
that was Mama by Yemi Alade. That was Mama by Yemi Alade, guys. And it's a really feel-good, nice song talking about how special mothers are. So if you're just joining us, I'm just going to say good evening again, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you're in the world you're joining us from. And this is CanDid Moment with Fortunate, and I'm your host for today in his creative mind, also known as Gijo. I'm Ghanaian in spirit, so I like to, I've got a Ghanaian name because of that. And Ghana is playing tonight, guys. They're playing Panama tonight, and I'm really rooting for them and hoping that they win. But that's not why we're here today. Today is a very, very special edition of the show. It's a deeply personal one for me, and that's because today is my mom's birthday, guys. I love my mom very much. We're not just talking about life today, we're celebrating life. We're honoring one of God's greatest gifts to humanity, and that is mothers. And today I dedicate this entire program to one very special woman, Pastor Mrs. Bola Oshinyemi, my mom. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you very much. The kids love you, your grandkids love you, your son, daughter-in-law, they love you very much, and I just want to say that you really are special to me, and I'm grateful for you in my life. I'm grateful for everything so far. It's not been, of course, a smooth journey. However, I love you very much, and I'm dedicating today's show to you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. I can see everybody saying happy birthday in the comments, and I'm really grateful, and I'm sure she's grateful too. This show is a tribute to your love, Mom. It's a tribute to your sacrifices, your prayers, and everything you have poured into my life. So I'm just going to briefly say what a mother represents, and I'm careful to, make the distinction right now at who didn't have the amazing relationship or amazing experiences that I'm describing with their biological mothers. They understand that when I talk about motherhood and I'm talking about mothers, I'm not saying necessarily only about biological relationships, because I've met people in my life who, as much as I've got a good relationship with my mom and I have a good mother, I have other people in my life that I actually see as mothers as well. And I see them as mothers deeply. It's not just on the surface. It's not a surface level thing of just, you just call them mommy and all of that. I have had amazing relationships and still have amazing relationships with other older women that I consider my mom or my mothers, aside from my biological mom. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that when I'm talking about motherhood, it's not necessarily biological relationships that make somebody a mother to you. You can have someone who you see as a mother, who is a mother figure in your life, who didn't give birth to you, biologically. So if you've got anyone in your life like that, this applies to them. And if for whatever reason you don't, you still have the opportunity of meeting someone who can mother you. And this isn't even only about age. So for example, if you're looking at age, you would probably be seeing it as, the person is not old enough to be my mother. There are people in our lives who can be motherly figures to us who don't necessarily have the age where they can actually be our mothers in real life. However, their wealth of wisdom, their experiences in life can make them motherly figures in our lives. So I want us to look at it holistically and not just in our lives. So I want us to look at it holistically and not just think, I'm talking about biological motherhood or mothers, who birthed you. People who sacrifice for you, people who labor on your behalf, people who pray for you, unseen prayers, people who are constantly standing in the gap on your behalf, can be referred to as mothers in the context that I'm talking about today. So motherhood is not just about birthing a child. Motherhood is way more. It's about the sacrifice. It's about the labor of love. It's about the prayers that we make on behalf of our children or people that we consider children in our lives. I've got an 11-year-old and a 10-year-old, but I know people who would call me mama or call me mommy, who I know biologically I cannot give birth to, but I would believe that I can stand in the position of mother in terms of, sacrifices that I make for them, in terms of the labor of love that I, make over them, and the prayers that I pray over their lives. So yeah, I want us to understand motherhood from that perspective and see that motherhood is not just about biological relationships. So a mother is often the first love we experience. And sometimes the love we only fully understand much later in life. And the reason I'm starting with this quote / statement is that more often than not, of course, in some circumstances, it's not always true. And that's why I'm saying often. A mother is often the first experience of love that we get. Recently, I was talking, I was having a bit of difficulty with my boys. We know how boys can be, how, heady sometimes they can be. So they can be very hard-headed. They want to have things their own way and things like that. And I've just been struggling a little bit with, just maintaining, decorum, maintaining, routines and everything with them. And I remember I had a program in church, and there was a guest speaker who came to speak, and I just felt led to take the boys to him to say, pray over us, pray for him, pray for the boys rather, and pray for me, for strength for me, of course, and for the boys, just for, for an open heart so that they can receive the instruction that I give to them. And I remember that when the man started to speak to my boys, how are you behaving? Are you taking care of mommy? Are you, helping mommy and everything? And then he said something that struck me, and I was just like, wow. For him to say that, I don't know why, but he was like, I know a lot of people will argue about this, and I even had an argument with my brother about it as well, because of course, nobody wants to hear this kind of thing. But he said to my boys, nobody can love you as much as your mom loves you. That your dad loves you, and this is a man speaking, so he wasn't saying it from a place of, he's trying to. He said, I have a mother and I know how much she loves me. I have a wife and I see how much she loves our children, and I can tell you that you can almost not get. Of course, we have the exemptions. I'm not saying that there's no exemption. However, there's just something about a mother's love. There's just something about a mother's love. And of course, we hear it all the time that when it even comes to moms and their boys, it's even more special. So I know there's something about a mother's love, and it's more often the first love that we get to experience as human beings. And sometimes the love we only fully understand much later in life. And for me, this is so key because, hi Ziti, hi, good evening, how are you doing? So yeah, for me, that statement means a lot because I think a lot of women, I'm speaking for myself, but I'm sure I'm speaking for a vast majority of women, only come to understand and appreciate their mother's sacrifices and, labor over them when they become mothers themselves. I think for me, definitely that was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call for me when I became a mother to see how much my mom actually had to go through, and is still even going through, because if I tell you how much my mother still prays for me, sometimes I feel like she prays for me more than I pray for myself right now. I feel like she prays for my kids more than I pray for my kids. Not that I don't, but for her, it's almost like it has become her life mission, that's all she does now is pray for us, for myself, for my brother, for my kids, for my brother's kids when they come and all of that. She's even already praying for all of that. And I only fully appreciated the level of commitment, love, sacrifice, labor that my mom had to go through. And is still going through, like I said, when I became a mother myself. Motherhood is a whole thing, guys. I don't believe that anybody should be going into motherhood before, being properly groomed. And I'm not saying that, you have to go to school for it, or you have to, but read up, understand motherhood. And again, we can't fully understand motherhood until we get into it. But equipping yourself with as much resources and as much knowledge as possible before going into it is very important. Just the 9 months where you have between maybe finding out you're pregnant and having the child, for you, if for whatever reason you haven't even thought about it or thought it was necessary to actually look into what it means to be a mother, those 9 months, I don't think you should be doing anything else. Of course, it should come earlier. It should be something that you begin to think of even before you get into a relationship, before you get into marriage. Be sure that, number one, it is what you want. I know some people will crucify me for this. Some people will say, oh, everybody should be a mother. If you've chosen not to be, I don't judge anybody, to be honest. I don't judge anybody for, whatever decisions that they make. But I think it's really important that we begin to think like this. Think about what it means to be a mother. Think about it. Ask people, have conversations around it, and be sure before you go into it. And if for whatever reason you're already pregnant, you're about to have a child, and you feel like, okay, the child is already almost here, you need to read up. You need to ask questions. You need to just bury yourself in as much information and knowledge as you can, because motherhood is not a walk in the park. It's not a bed of roses. It's beautiful. However, there is so much more than just pushing a baby out when it comes to motherhood. So I don't want to bore us with a lot of that, but I think if we don't go away from here with anything, one thing we should go away from here with is that motherhood takes intention. Motherhood requires a lot more than just carrying the baby and pushing the baby out. So it requires thought. It requires you to be mentally aware of what it's going to do to you, what you're going to need, to make a success out of motherhood. We don't know it all. We don't know it all, and we probably will never know it all, but you can't just go into motherhood without equipping yourself. You're going to set yourself up for disaster. Even the people that plan it ahead and have read still have it difficult and have a difficult time, because no two children are the same, no two pregnancies are the same, no two motherhood experiences are the same. So imagine going in blind. Imagine going in with no knowledge whatsoever. It's going to be a disaster. So on that note, I want us just take a quick music break, and then I will be right back.
listen to Heart Song live on Radio Player. Listen in your browser or download the Radio Player app. Radio Player, the easy way to listen to radio.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the show. This is CanDid Moment with Fortunate, and I'm your host for today, is Creative Mind. And on the show today, we are talking about a mother's love, a tribute, a reflection, and a healing. The healing bit we will understand very soon when I get to some parts of today's discussion. And so this segment, I'm just going to talk briefly about my mother and the reason she's worthy, in quotes, to be celebrated today. Just some specific memories as I can remember, and lessons that she's taught me as an individual. And of course, I'm hoping that we would all learn a thing or two. So who is my mom? My mom is a pastor. She's a child of God. I would say first a child of God. Second, a wife to my amazing dad who passed on a few years ago. And she is an absolute all-round mom to myself and my brother. And the very best grandma to my children. She is, some people are saying our mom. Okay, yes, our mom. She has many adopted children, obviously, like in the comments. And I would say, if I wanted to talk about her, so first off, one of the reasons that I'm doing this today is, most times we find that when we want to do like things like this, it's usually when a loved one passes, then we begin to reflect on, who they were to us and things like that. But I've decided to give my mom her flowers now that she's alive, and, just thank her, in general for being who she is. So who is my mom? My mom, she's God-fearing. She loves the Lord with all of her heart, and that's like the core of her being. That's the core of who she is. She would not leave a conversation without letting you know about her faith. And she is also very well-grounded. She's like so she's a homebody. So my mom is the kind of person that is content to be in her house 24/7. She does not need any entertainment. She does not need any extra thing like outside of her like comfort zone. She's a homebody. She loves to be home. She doesn't like parties. Like she wasn't one of those party. Yes, she would celebrate us as a family. So for example, if we had birthdays and all that, my mom is the kind of mom, like my mom literally celebrated every single birthday of mine until I was maybe like 15 or something. She celebrated first birthday, second, back then I don't even think that all these 1 month birthday, 2 months birthday, 3 month birthday like things were like a thing like we see now with the advent of social media, where when your baby is a month old you do a photo shoot and things like that. That was my mom even as far back as when I was a baby, so she used to celebrate every single milestone every single month. Then our yearly birthdays, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Like she might not do a big party, but there was always something to, mark the birthdays. She's very kind. She's also very, very creative. I would say that I get a lot of my creativity from her. She is a fashion designer, so she makes almost all the clothes that I wear that are not, bought like off the shelf. She's like my major fashion designer. So she's very creative. Like my mom was the mom that if you leave the house to go to school in the morning, by the time you come back, you will not know your house again. She has rearranged the entire living room, rearranged the entire kitchen. She was that mom that was just always hands-on. And because my mom never did a 9 to 5 after we were born, she used to do that before we were born. And she had her own business. She was always around. We were always around her. She took us everywhere. We were always together. So we built such a very beautiful bond. And it was just 4 of us, myself, my mom, my dad, and my brother. And it was a really beautiful childhood that I had. She made sure that, we were very happy. She tried not to spoil us because my dad was the spoiler. So my mom tried to create a good balance to make sure that we weren't, just overly spoiled or anything. She used to beat us a lot as children. She was the beater in quotes amongst her and my dad. My dad was a bit more, lenient and all of that. But my mom was always constantly like, she just didn't want us to turn out bad, I guess. And it was a very good childhood that we had. I don't remember ever really wanting or lacking for anything. And I think one other good thing I would say about my mom is that she was a very good support system to my dad. Like I said, my dad is the lenient one. He's the one that doesn't beat children. He's the one that just, almost allows everything. But my mom created that balance. She made sure, for example, even in spending, my dad was the one that would want to just, spend. But my mom was able to ensure that she kept, us grounded, kept making sure that we weren't overspending. She did a really, really fantastic job of bringing us up, and I'm really grateful for her. A lot of the things that I know, a lot of the things that I enjoy, are because of her. She likes to say, she likes the fact that we're really close now. Of course, growing up, girls and their moms, there's always this thing where you guys never see eye to eye. We had a lot of that growing up as well, but because of how much I knew she loved me, it would be easy to go back to her. We weren't people who really knew how to keep grudges and things like that. She would not even support that you keeping grudge or anything. She always made sure that, we would, no matter how angry she was, no matter what the circumstances were, she would try and make sure that she draws us back to herself. And I had a really good, childhood because of that. So that's who my mom is. So yeah, the core of her being, to be honest, is just the fact that she loves God and she wants to do right by God and, do the best she can for people around her as well. So that's my mom. She has a great sense of humor. We are always laughing. Oh my goodness. My mom is always like, am I a clown? Because I'm on the phone with my mom and I'm just laughing. I'm cracking up real bad. Like we stay and we have our side, talks. We have our own things that inside jokes and things like that, a lot of them. In fact, our relationship is so beautiful, and I'm just so grateful that I have that kind of relationship with my mom. My mom is strong. When my dad was really ill, towards the end of his life, my mom was our anchor. She was, as old as I am, my mom was still trying to shield us from a lot of the, in quotes, I would say, gory details of it all, of how, because he was really sick. And she had to go through a lot, taking care of him in those last days. And even at the point when he was almost leaving, he was almost passing on, we didn't really know how intense it was because my mom was she was shielding us as much as she could because she just felt we didn't need to break under the weight, especially because we both weren't in the country. We weren't close enough for it to really make that much of a difference, if we knew all of those details. And, she was really strong, really strong through it all. She had help, of course, from people around her. But, just watching her, take that journey in her stride, it's something that I'm grateful for her for, and I'm happy that she didn't break under pressure. It wasn't the easiest, to be honest, time. Of course, after his passing, she then began to talk about a few of the things that they had gone through and she had gone through, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, she is very strong, and for that I admire her greatly. She's a disciplinarian. I remember growing up, my grandma, that's my dad's mom, would literally be telling us to go and run and hide when my mom is coming because maybe she told us to do something and we didn't do it and we were going to get in trouble and all of that. Of course, she just wanted to instill discipline, and there's nothing wrong with that, and yeah, she's just an all-round amazing woman. And today, I just want to, just love upon her and let her know that she means the world to me. And I will hopefully, continue to make her proud. I will continue to do my best to emulate all of the amazing virtues and, all the characteristics that she has that makes her such a great person. And yeah, she's taught me lessons. She's taught me. I'm just thinking, just being kind in general, being kind. Like, don't let what other people do to you affect who you are as a person. And my mom is someone who, she's not afraid to point out like the good parts of you. There's some things that my mom believes that she can't do as a person, and when she sees that I do it, she admires it and she talks about it. She would admire you and she would let you know that, oh, that's a good characteristic and I'm glad that you have that. She doesn't shy away from it. She doesn't mind that she maybe hasn't gotten to that level. She's able to identify it in others, and praise it. And that's a very rare thing to have. When we don't have something, sometimes it's difficult to acknowledge it in other people's lives and be grateful for it. And that's something that she possesses. And I think it's, very commendable. So if I had to describe my mother in one word, I would probably say strength. Strength. One word is not enough. I think that's the truth, is that one word is not enough to describe who she is. I would just say strength, because she has shown, an incredible amount of strength and level of strength all through our lives growing up. I really wish that my brother would have been able to be here and speak a few words about my mom, but because I think he's more eloquent than I am. He's very, but yeah, I know he loves mommy so much. Yeah, you know what they say about boys and their moms, and I know that he agrees with everything that I'm saying about her. She's incredible. She really is. She I don't even know how to put it into words, to be honest, because a lot of people don't have good relationships with their mothers, and I know that. I've seen it firsthand. However, I'm so blessed, and I'm really praying that I can carry this on. I'm not a boy child. The bond she has with my brother is different. The bond she has with me is different. I have only boys, at least for now, except, God decides to bless me with a girl however he pleases. But I'm only praying that I'm able to emulate as much as I can that bond and share that special relationship with my children as well, so that not only so that they can come and talk about me like this or anything, but so that they have that, just that they have it. Because having it, even if they don't talk about it, having it does something to their minds and to their hearts and to who they are as individuals. And I'm really hoping that they would have that love, they would have that commitment that I would have given to them as a mother. So before we go on, I'd just like to play this song by Mercy Chinwo, which is Excess Love, which talks about the love of God, which I would say is the only love, or one of the only love that you can have that would exceed that of a mother in your life. So let's listen to Excess Love by Mercy Chinwo, and I will be right
my life feel bright.
too much or excess love. Oh. Jesus, you love me too much. Oh. Too much, oh. Too much, oh. Excess love. Oh. Jesus, you love me too much. Oh. Too much, oh. Too much, oh. Excess love. Too much, oh, excess love. Your love for me, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love. Too much, oh, Jesus, too much, love me, oh, too much, that you gave your life for me. What manner of love is this? What manner of love is this that you gave it all for me, oh God? Jesus, you love me. You love me. Too much, oh, you love me. Jesus, you love me too much, oh. Jesus, you love me too much, oh. Who am I that you're mindful of me? Yeah. Too much, oh. Who am I that you gave it all for me? Hey. Jesus, you love me too much, oh. Too much, oh. Too much, oh. Excess love, oh. Yeah. Jesus, you love me too much, oh. You love me too much, oh.
Welcome back, guys. It is, thank you, darling. Thank you so much. This is Candid Moments with Fortunate on Heart Song Live Radio, your voice of inspiration, and I am your host in his creative mind. We're almost 1 hour into the show, and we're talking about motherhood, the love of a mother, the what makes mothers special. And the reason for today's topic, like I said earlier, is because today is my mom's birthday, and I just thought what better to do than to celebrate her today and then talk about motherhood, and the joys of it and the not so joys of it, and the pleasant things about it and the not so pleasant things about it, just talking about motherhood in general and why it's such a special title to hold, and why and how we can just be better in general and just set to be that mother ourselves, so that we can we can have our children experience the very best of us as mothers. So if you're listening in right now, hi BB, welcome, thank you for joining. If you're listening to me right now, I'd just like you to send a message and tell us one thing you appreciate about your mother. And like I established earlier in the show, even if you don't have a mother anymore, for example, or you didn't have the kind of, great, thank you, darling, the kind of great relationship that I'm explaining that I have with my mom, and you have it with someone else who has stood in the place of mother in your life, please let me know one thing you appreciate about your mom. I'd like to read your comments. And while I'm waiting for the comments to come in, I want us to talk about something when motherhood feels heavy, when motherhood feels heavy, because of course I've highlighted so many great and amazing things about motherhood. I've highlighted so many things about my mother in particular and why I think she's amazing. However, you know, we know that that's not always the case with every single person. We know that some people have had, you know, a different experience when it comes to motherhood, personally, or their mothers, their relationships with their mothers. So I am acknowledging, of course, that not all mother-child relationships are easy. In fact, if I were to be completely honest, if I think about myself and my kids right now, maybe because, of course, I'm a girl child and my relationship with my mom was different from what I have with my boys because I've got boys. I wouldn't say that, you know, our relationship is, you know, the very best. Of course, they're still really young. However, I'm just highlighting and saying, hi, Memory Cute. Hi, how you doing? I'm just highlighting that not all mother-child relationships are easy. Not all of them are easy. Amazing. So Arike says her mom endured many things for her siblings and herself. And that's one special thing, and that's what she loves her mother for. And what more could we, you know, want from a mother, you know, than for her to endure when she needs to, just to make life that bit easier for her children. It really is amazing. It really is amazing. And yeah, so I was saying that, you know, not all mother-child relationships are easy. Some are very strained for so many different reasons. Some people, like I said, you know, I was mentioning earlier that becoming a mother is easy in the sense that all you need to do is get pregnant and have a baby. But being a mother in the real sense of it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of intentionality. It takes a lot of, you know, your mind has to be ready for being a mom. And unfortunately, some people go into motherhood without all of these things. And it does tell. It does tell. Some people grow into it and they realize that, oh, okay, this is serious business. And then they, you know, they begin to learn on the job, basically. I don't even think there's any mother that doesn't learn on the job, because really, unless you actually become a mother, you can't, you won't understand how much work actually goes into, you know, being a mom. So not all mother-child relationships are easy. And my heart goes out to those people who, unfortunately, don't have that relationship. But I was saying earlier that you can cultivate that relationship with other people and not necessarily your biological mothers. You can still get that relationship with someone else and form that bond with someone else that will fill the void that not having, you know, your actual biological mother in your life. Of course, it can be painful. Of course, it won't be exactly the same, because there's just something in our hearts that yearns for the love of our biological mothers. However, I've found people and I've spoken to people and seen people who didn't have that, because sometimes some people are even orphans. They never met their parents. Maybe they were, you know, given up for adoption. There's also many different reasons why sometimes you don't have that specific relationship with your biological mother. However, you can find that in someone else. God does put those people in our lives sometimes and make so desperately sick. So someone says here that motherhood is another word for sacrifice, and that is so true. You can't be a mother and not be ready to make sacrifices. It's literally, sacrifice and motherhood goes hand in hand. Like she said, it's literally a synonym for motherhood, is sacrifice. Sacrificing in so many ways that I can't even begin to itemize one by one, that in this area, in that area, in literally areas that you never even thought in your life that you would consider sacrificing in. Yes, motherhood can do that to you. And that's one of the reasons why it might be really tough. Not everyone is cut out to be a mother. Not everybody can do this motherhood thing and not break under the pressure. It's very easy. Someone else says here that my grandmom, she's the best because she's the only person that understands me, but she is no more, unfortunately, you know, and that's it. it. She says her grandmom is the best, and that's why I'm saying that. She hasn't mentioned her mom. She has mentioned her grandmom. Sometimes some people don't even find it in their biological mothers. They find it in, their grandmothers, and just having the bond is what is essential. The person does not have to be related to you by blood. The person does not have to be, biologically related to you. In her case, the person is her grandmother, and she has found that bond, in that person. Someone else says, my mom is my gist partner, always listening, so I emulate that aspect of her, and that's it. If we find any good qualities whatsoever in our mothers as women, I would say, just try and emulate it. Of course, we can't emulate every single thing because we are our own person, we are our own individuals. On our own, we have our own traits and everything. But if you see something good in your mother, for example, it will be good to emulate that, and hopefully, your children will experience that thing that makes you want to emulate that in your mother. And she says that her children are her mom has become her children's gist partner as well. Amazing, yes. And I would say that about my mom too, because the same way that my mom, has become such, my mom would boast and say, I know all my daughter's friends. Like, that's how close we have gotten, that my friends have my mom's number. Like, they would talk to her like they would talk to their own mothers. And me personally, I may not even have their own parents' numbers, but my mom is that mom that in a room, your friends want to get to know her, your friends want to talk to her, your friends want to, greet her and all of that, because she's so down to earth. She brings herself down to everybody's level. She doesn't care about age. She's not somebody that, like, my mom will even call people that are 10 or 15 years younger than her ma and sir if she feels that they deserve the respect. That's how she is, and she can roll with anybody. As she is, she talks to my children like they're mates, they're playmates, and so that's just amazing. Yeah, someone else is saying same. Her grandma is good, but not her mom. And that's it. And once you find that bond, we really don't need to, we don't need to mourn too much the relationship that we could have had with our mothers if you're in that situation. Arika said Yoruba women doing yes, that my mom is a core Yoruba woman to the core. Like, she's so, she's jovial with everybody. She's relating with any and everybody regardless of your age, and that's just very amazing about her. Some people grew up with pain, absence, or silence. We've heard of people whose mothers walked away. A lot of times the stereotype is, a man gets a woman pregnant and walks away. But in some instances, it's actually some women that have the child, leave the child for the father and walk away. That happens as well. Sometimes you are even living with your family, you are living with your parents, and the mother is just not there. She has sometimes it's not even about, maybe she's a party person, she's going partying, she's neglecting the family. It could even be career. Some people let career take them so much out of the home, and they are so upset. They want to talk to the children, want the attention, they want the love, they want the care, and there's just nobody there. So there's also that instance. Sometimes it's a mother who is maybe a drug addict. There's so many scenarios that we can paint. So we acknowledge that there are people who have grown up in that kind of environment, and our heart goes out to them. And my persuasion to whoever it is that might have gone through that, once there is still life, there is still hope. And even though it might not be yeah, somebody is saying the beating aspect was also great. Yes, because like I highlighted, my mom used to beat us. So me talking about it now, that's the way that children are brought up back home in my country, Nigeria. So my TikTok live is acting up. So yeah, that's the method of correction basically in Nigeria. And it was almost like a normal thing to be done. But however, we knew that it was from a place of love. It was from a place of not sparing the rod and spoiling the child. That was what the reason was for, their style of parenting and, bringing us up back then. there can be a lot of complexities in your relationship with your mother, and we acknowledge that. We understand that you're seen, you're heard. We're not saying that you don't have to be any less because of this situation. Like I said, you can find that motherly love, you can find that motherly affection, you can find all of that outside of your biological parents. Some people never even knew their parents, but they have mothers. In fact, I had a friend when I was in uni who, if not that his mother is white and he is half caste, you would almost not be able to tell that the woman that his father was with is not his biological mother. She was so amazing. So we can have those relationships and that bond with other people other than our biological mothers. Of course, he loved his mom and he knew his mom, but she was so amazing that it was commendable. It was something we could recognize was not normal. We could recognize that it was out of the ordinary. So we do sympathize and we empathize and we see you. We know that it's hard to not have had that bond with your mother, but open your eyes, open your heart. You can find someone who will fill that gap and make you almost forget that you don't have the experiences that we're talking about today. It's very possible, and unless you open your heart, you might not find it. Unless you open your heart, you might not find it. There are many people who can stand in the gap and who can stand in that position of mother and pray over you and, do all the things that you might have missed out of or from when it comes to your biological mother. So, for some people, the word mother brings warmth. Like for me, for example, and for others, it brings questions, it brings pain, or even silence. And both experiences deserve to be acknowledged. And that's why I'm talking about it today, to say this is not to make anyone who doesn't have that amazing bond, feel any way, but to give them the hope and the acknowledgement, to let them know that it's not the end of the world. You can still have that relationship with someone else who will almost make you forget the fact that you didn't have, that biological mother's touch or feel. It's very possible. It's very, very possible, and I want you to be aware of that so that you look out for it in relationships and in friendships that you've currently formed. You look out for it in, just around you, because if you don't, position your heart in a way that is receptive to that kind of love, you can very easily miss out on it. And before we go any further, I just want us to take another brief music break. And when we come back, we will talk about loss. So we've talked about, the more difficult relationship where the mother is there but not there, in quote. We are going to talk about loss when we come back. And we are going to be listening to Onishe Yanu by Nathaniel Bassey until we get back.
Yeah. to Candid Moments with Fortunate on Heartsong Live Radio.
You can now listen to Heartsong live on Radio Player. Listen in your browser or download the Radio Player app. Radio Player, the easy way to listen to radio.
And we are back. Hi guys. If you're just joining us, we're a little over an hour gone on the show, and this is Candid Moments with Fortunate, and I'm your host for today, Jijor, in his creative mind. And today we're talking about the love of a mother's love. And like I said at the beginning of the show, the main reason that I'm talking about motherhood and the joys of motherhood, the highs, the lows, and everything today is because today is my mom's birthday, and I just thought, what better way to, just celebrate her is talk about her, talk about how she has impacted my life as a human being, while also touching on other aspects of motherhood. Please remember that you can watch Heartsong live on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, on almost all social media platforms, and you can also listen via the DAB app, and just listening on the conversation if all you want to do is just listen on radio. This, like I said, is Heartsong Live, your voice of inspiration. And so we've been talking about motherhood. We've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about the sacrifice that's involved. We've talked about, how some people's relationships with their mothers aren't the most pleasant, but, reminding people that we can still find that bond that we seek outside of our biological family. Some people have never known their biological mothers, but have amazing, amazing relationships and mother-daughter, mother-son relationships with other women in their lives. Let's open our hearts, let's open our eyes, let's open our minds to the possibility of this, and hopefully, soon somebody beautiful walks into our lives. Hopefully we've not allowed them walk out or walk away from our lives. Hopefully we would get that opportunity to have that beautiful bond that we seek. So I said before we went on the break that we're going to be talking about loss. We have some people who have lost their mothers. Some had great experiences before they lost their mothers. Some had not so great experiences before they lost their mothers, and we're just acknowledging those who it's lagging. I don't know. I can see comments on YouTube. Sorry, somebody said it's lagging. I don't know what's going on. I think it's the streaming software is messing up. But let's just continue. So we are just, our hearts are going out to those who may have lost their mothers. And just like I said, to those who maybe didn't have great relationships with their mothers, you still have the opportunity. I met someone a while back who said she had lost her biological mom, but then she found motherhood in another woman, an elderly woman that she now considers her mom. We have that opportunity. We can still enjoy that bond with someone else. Almost all her posts and everything have been about her mother. I would assume that they had a very beautiful relationship. Grieving is normal. It's okay to grieve. We just don't want to remain there. We don't want to remain there because we need to move on and, enjoy the beautiful what life still has to offer, because when there is life, like I said, there is hope. Thank you, Heidel. Heidel says happy birthday to mom. God's richest blessings be hers today and always. Amen. Thank you so much. So I have lost their mothers, which is something that I do when I think about my dad, who passed on a few years ago, is that I honor the memories without trying to fix the pain. Of course, the pain will always be there. Sometimes it just becomes a dull ache, just a dull ache. Just, of course, when we remember people that we love who've passed on, it's never like, it's never easy. Nobody's saying it's going to get any easier, but we can make sure that we're not trying to fix that pain. While we can honor the memories, the pain will always be there. It's probably just a dull ache in our chests, remembering, oh my God, I wish this person was here. Sometimes we're beginning to see things manifest in our lives that we would have loved to share with them, would have loved them to be there, to be a part of it. And it just reminds us, oh my God, I wish he was here to see this. I wish she was here to see this. So basically, I'm just saying, we can honor those memories, not trying to say, oh, I don't want to feel the pain anymore. That's not realistic. we would always hurt. It would always hurt remembering that people that we love are no longer here with us. So it's okay to honor their memory. And I'm sure that there are people who are here with us right now whose mothers are no longer here, like I said. And to me, today might feel joyful for some. And deeply tender for others, because some people's is really fresh. It's something that has just happened, and we're just getting to terms with the fact that they're no longer here. And I acknowledge that. But we don't have to wallow in that pain. We don't. It sounds easier said than done, but I mean, I've lost my dad, and I've had my fair share of grief. I've had my fair share of the pain. I know how heart-wrenching it can be, however, we don't want to wallow in it. When I think about him, I try and make sure that I'm consciously telling myself just to remember the happy moments and be glad that he's no longer in pain, because he was in a lot of pain, before he passed on. So grief does not mean love is gone. Absolutely not. It doesn't mean that love is gone. It often means that love has nowhere physical to go anymore. Love isn't gone. It's just you can't physically see the person anymore. You can't physically, hug them, talk to them, hold their hand. Yeah, but the love is still there. Let's remember that grief does not mean that love is gone. It often means that love has nowhere physical to go anymore. There's no physical destination. Like, I can't say up and leave now and say I want to go and see my dad. I can't. Of course, I can visit his graveside, but that wouldn't be the same as, seeing him one-on-one, feeling his hands, holding mine, hugging him, and all of the things that we could do when he was still here with us. So we acknowledge for those who have lost their moms today, and our hearts go out to you, and we hope that somehow you move on past that pain as much as you can, whilst still holding on to the memories that remain from the time that we had with them. And that's why for those of us who have the pleasure and who have the opportunity to still have our loved ones here with us, let us remember that, when they're no more, because that's normal. Like, sometimes we talk about death, or we deal with death as though it's something that's out of this world. It really isn't. Sometimes you're here today, gone tomorrow. So let's make today count. Let's make today, the best that we can, so that what we're looking for in the time that they're gone wouldn't be hard to find. The memories that we want to hold on to will not be hard to find when we eventually, when they're no longer with us, because that day will come. It's inevitable. As much as we don't want it to, it's very, very normal that it would happen. So let's make sure that we're making the memories today that we want to look back on tomorrow when they're no longer with us. And this applies to every single kind of relationship, even between me and my children now, just because tomorrow is not guaranteed. As much as we don't want to say it, as much as we shy away from the topic of death, we shy away from the topic of, these things, because we just feel like, we don't want to talk about these sad things, or we don't want to talk about it. It happens. It really happens. And unfortunately, we do not know the time, nor the hour. We don't know the day. We have no idea. So we need to live ready. We need to live ready, as with salvation. And when we talk about God, and we have no idea what tomorrow holds, as much as we can plan and say, oh yes, I'm going golfing on Saturday. Saturday is not guaranteed. As much as we like to think, it's normal to sleep and wake up, even that is not guaranteed. So let's live every day as if it is our last, enjoying it to the fullest, loving up on those who we want to love up on, showing love, making the world a better place in our little corner of the world. And definitely we would have the memories that we want to hold on to tomorrow when, we get there and we're struggling. We would have those memories to fall back on. So I just want to talk about, again, strained and complex relationships. And of course, we can't gloss over it, because it's some people's reality. We can't underestimate it, because it is some people's reality. Some relationships are broken or distant. Some it's such a dicey topic because unfortunately it's not my reality. However, I have seen some very close people with that kind of relationship, and I tell you, as much as I'm not the one in the situation, being close enough to them has shown me that it's not a great place to be. It really isn't. It's because it's not the normal. You know, the norm is have a loving mother, have a loving father, but for some people it's different. It's not the norm, and it can be very difficult, especially, you know, for example, in some instances where you, even as a child, even responsibilities that you're not supposed to be carrying as a child, you're already carrying. You're trying to literally be you're the child, but you're trying to be the mother in this case you're trying to be the one to do the things that this person is supposed to be doing without being asked. It can be very dicey, it can be very hard, it can be very difficult. Some cannot or should not be reconciled. That's also really hard to accept, due to harm or deep hurt. That's really difficult to accept, and I know how it sounds when you say, oh, this relationship is is unmendable. It should not be, the reconciliation should not be considered. However, in some cases, that's the only way, because at the end of the day, like we've talked about a lot on this show, we need to put ourselves first. It's one of the most selfish statements, but one of the most important statements that anyone can make. It is one of the most selfish concepts, in quotes. However, it is one of the most important concepts, because you cannot pour out of an empty cup. So if you continue to put others first, not putting yourself first, it always ends in disaster. It always ends in disaster. I haven't seen one scenario where it didn't end badly. I haven't seen it where it didn't end badly. And we honestly don't want that. We don't want that. We want our lives. Oh, you see, someone's saying here that her best friend lost her mother and it's been very difficult. I can imagine. It's hard. Like, I can only imagine, because I haven't gone through it. I've gone through the loss of my dad. You know, sometimes we don't even realize that grief can be very different depending on who we lose. We don't love one more than the other, but the nuances of the relationship that we have with the people are different. So the grief will be very different as well. And our hearts go out to her, Anna, and send her all our love. Let her know that she's not alone. Let her know that she has the opportunity to still cultivate a beautiful relationship with someone else. Once she's done grieving, once, you know, she has come to terms with everything, she can still find, you know, a beautiful relationship with someone else again who would stand in, of course, not replace her mom, but standing and help her, you know, just fill that void that, you know, losing her mom has created. So yeah, I'm not saying this here to them or for their mental health. Sometimes it's just unfortunate. That's the reality of some people, and let's acknowledge that that's some people's reality. God, you know, even said that love your neighbor as yourself. There's a reason that scripture exists. It is because self-love is literally the first. That's how we you can't love someone if you haven't learned to love yourself. The Bible does not make mistakes. If they say love your neighbor as yourself, it just goes to show that you have to love yourself first. But more often than not, we just find people who love their neighbors more than themselves, love their neighbors less than themselves. Love your neighbor as yourself. What you do unto others as you want them to do unto you. You know, so when you're in a relationship, or in you have a relationship with your mother, because we're talking about mothers today, that is making you, in quotes, love her more than you love yourself. Even mothers loving their children more than they love themselves is wrong. How much more, you know, you as a child loving your mother more than you love yourself. You need to learn to love yourselves. Put yourselves first. Learn to love yourself. Learn what makes you tick. Learn what makes you you. Learn what makes you better. Learn yourself, and then you can now transfer that love or replicate that love with others. That's the only way to go, to be honest, because when you're in a relationship that's toxic, regardless of who that person is to you, that's what some people make mistakes on. Like when they hear these concepts about, loving yourself, loving yourself more than others, they think it excludes family, they think it excludes some certain people, but it's every single person in your life, regardless of who they are. So if you've got, a complex relationship with, your mother, and unfortunately it's the unreconcilable kind, there's still hope. There's still hope. It might hurt. It might be, painful. However, remember the law of love yourself. Love others as you love yourself. Do unto others as you want them to do to you. So you know yourself for yourself. What's it called now? What's that thing called? When you come into yourself, when you know yourself for yourself, it just makes life much easier for you. It makes life much easier for you when you know who you are. So, we need to acknowledge boundaries. I mean, that's the crux of everything that I'm saying. When you know yourself, you know the kind of boundaries that you need to set in your life. You know what you can take and what you can't take, basically. So that's what I mean when I say, keep those boundaries, acknowledge them, and then, when you break off or when you decide to, take a step back, it's going to be painful. There's no doubt about that. So give yourself room to heal. Give yourself room to heal, and, just give yourself room, give yourself grace, because nobody's saying it's an easy journey. Nobody's saying it's going to be smooth sailing all the way. However, it has to be done. What has to be done has to be done. What has to be done has to be done. But give yourself time to heal as well. Not every mother-child relationship can be restored in this lifetime as much as we want it to, and not everyone should be forced. Healing does not always mean reunion. Healing does not always mean reunion. So I'm saying this to say that, when you are in the process of healing from, the breaking of a relationship maybe between you and your mother or something, the fact that you've healed does not mean that you need to go back, basically. Because if you even think about your healing journey, I would best believe that you don't want to be going back, to a relationship that has drained you. But when what we can choose is peace. So even though healing does not mean reconciliation or reunion, what we can choose is peace, closure, and the decision not to let pain define our future. And that's where me saying that, you have the opportunity to rebuild again. You had the opportunity to meet other people who can fill that void, even though it might not be completely, but fill it to such a level that you get back to a state of normalcy in a way. Let the pain not define our future. We can still have a beautiful future. We can still have beautiful relationships that would mimic what we're supposed to have. Yeah, so someone says, my mom is still alive, but it's so hard to love her. She gave us away and I go through the pain. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about here today, is we still have the chance. Yeah, that must be very, I can't even imagine it, because, like I keep saying, I don't have that experience. However, I've had very close people who have had that kind of experience, and yeah, it's not pretty, it's not pretty. For some people, it's not even their mother. Some people, it's their dad. Some people, it's like other members of their family that are just completely, not the way that they're supposed to be. And it can be very, very painful, However, it's just for us to know today that there is hope of, finding other relationships that can help dull the pain. that can help dull the pain, and we would be better off for it. Absolutely. Someone says that some relationships are best left the way they are. Honestly, it's not worth the heartache and the headache that it would bring if you rekindle something that's not supposed to be rekindled, or try to, mend something that is not mendable. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the headache that you're gonna have. It's not worth the headache that you're gonna have. Wow. This person says, when the person tries to, I don't really get what the message says, but it says, when I go to her, she told me she wasn't my mother. Yeah, so those are the kind of relationships that you just love from afar. You won't hate her. However, you need, for your sanity's sake, to just rebuild. Basically, someone says it's not worth risking your mental health or your peace of mind. Absolutely, because if someone who birthed you looks you in the eye and says they're not your mother, I know it's easier said than done, but the person has literally done they've done forget them 100%. You need to start working on your heart. You need to start working on your heart to ensure that because the more you go to them and get those kind of responses, the more you're killing yourself, the more you are you're breaking your confidence, you're breaking everything about you, you're making yourself, you're just hurting yourself. Because there's really no need to continue to do that to yourself, to be honest. There's completely no need. Before we go forward, I'm just going to play one song, and then we will come back and talk about lessons that we typically learn from our mothers or mother figures in our lives. We're going to be listening to Refiner by Maverick City, one of the songs that I really love. Refiner by Maverick City. Enjoy.
The altar's where you meet us. Take me there. If you're looking for an offering, it's right here. My life is here. I'll be a living sacrifice for you. You're a fire, the refiner. I wanna be consumed. I sacrifice. I wanna burn for you, only for you. Oh, clean my hands, purify my heart. I wanna burn for you, only for you. Oh, take my life as a sacrifice. I wanna burn for you, only for you. I wanna be tried by fire, purified. You take whatever you desire. Lord, here's my life. I wanna be tried by fire, purified. You take whatever you desire. Lord, here's my life.
You can now listen to Heart Song live on Radio Player. Listen in your browser or download the Radio Player app. Radio Player, the easy way to listen to radio.
You are listening to Candid Moments with Fortunate on Heart Song Live Radio.
We are back, guys. Hi, everybody. If you're just joining us, hey, we're almost done. We're almost done. This is Candid Moments with Fortunate, and I'm your host for today, in his creative mind, and we are talking on the subject of mothers, a mother's love, the highs, the lows, the amazing parts of it, the not so amazing parts of it, loss of mothers, some strained relationships with mothers, all-round motherhood, basically just talking about it and how you know what it is. You know, it's motherhood is so different for every single person. In the terms of as a mother ourselves or our relationships with our mothers, we all have so many different experiences. There's no two people that would have the same experience. Of course, even two children of the same mother don't have the same experience with their mothers, who loves you regardless of anything. And then we've talked about mothers who aren't the best, who neglect their children, who don't give them time, who are maybe focused on career, or who are party animals and just don't have time for their children. And then we've also talked about the loss of a mother. And, everybody is in different seasons, as it were, when it comes to motherhood. What's it called? We all have different experiences. We're all in different seasons. Some have recently lost their mothers. Some have never known their mothers. Some have had great mothers. Some have had not so great mothers. But bottom line is, for those who have great mothers, we thank God for that. We're happy that you have that. For those who haven't had the best experience, we acknowledge that that's also your reality, but we're also urging you to open your heart, open your eyes, open your mind to the possibility of finding someone who will mother you, who would be there for you, who would stand in the gap. There's so much available to you, and just open your heart, and you just might have that amazing experience that you've been lacking all this while. Someone says, I'm really grateful for my mother. I am too, and I'm grateful that I've had the experience that I've had. I've also had people in my life who have been mothers to me in more ways than one, apart from my biological mother, and I'm also grateful for them. For example, my auntie, my mom's younger sister, is phenomenal. My mom's older sister is phenomenal. Like, I've got people in my life that I will call mother in a heartbeat. I will call them mother in a heartbeat, because even though they're not biologically my mother, they've been a mother in so many ways. I have, like, my mom's younger sister would tell me that whenever she's praying for her children, like if maybe she's in church or she's just maybe randomly having prayers in her house, like she would mention my name and my brother's name. She didn't give birth to us. However, like when she's mentioning the names of her children, she would mention our names, and that's how much she loves us. So we do have the opportunity to have people who would be mothers, who would mother us outside of our biological mothers. I'm grateful to have some women like that in my corner, and I'm so happy that I have that. Someone says her mom's twin sis as well. Yeah, so you see, she got a package deal. She got two moms in one, for herself, and so that's why I'm urging those who maybe didn't have a great relationship with their moms, or those who have lost their moms and want that void filled. There are people that can stand in the gap. There are people that can take on that role, and you would, be able to fill the void, even if not completely, because of course that might not be realistic. However, we can have people who will stand in our lives and take that role up in our lives. So now we're talking about different lessons that we can learn from mothers, and typically in the normal scenario, one of the things that mothers teach is resilience. And I will talk about this I'll talk about this. Sorry, I was trying to, I need them to stop showing me co-hosting invites. Yes, so like resilience. So for this one, I would even talk about myself as a mother and how, so because I'm on my own, I'm a single mother, I've not had a choice but to model resilience to my children, because life can life. Literally, life can just throw things at you, and I'm having to teach them, because I'm still in the process, how to be resilient, how to make sure that you set your mind to something, and of course, not at every cost, maybe doing something bad, but at all costs, make sure that you get what it is that you're aiming for. I've had to take tough decisions. I've had to do things that ordinarily I would not want to, just to stay resilient and produce the outcomes that I really want for myself and my children. So just about birthing a child, there's so much. I don't know it all. I've only been a mother for 11 years, or almost 12 years in September. But I'm still learning. There's still a lot that I'm like, my goodness, how do I navigate this? And I'm trying to figure it out. So motherhood is figuring it out every single day. But one of the things that I know that motherhood should teach is sacrifice. And that's something I'm very big on. And that's something that I'm hoping to pass on to my children, is that not everything is convenient. Because of course, as children, what my boys want is what they want. Like whatever they ask for, they want it now. They want it and they want it now. However, there are times when you have to sacrifice for the other person, and I'm trying to model that, and I'm trying to teach them that, even because of course they're siblings, and it gives an opportunity for me to teach sacrifice, because sometimes one person wants something and the whole family has to sacrifice so that person gets what they want, and then it will be someone else's turn afterwards. So sacrifice is something that motherhood should teach, and what mothers should be ready to do in this motherhood journey, because there's no other way. You have to sacrifice. You literally have to sacrifice one thing or the other at one time or the other for, your kids. And motherhood should be teaching us sacrifice, patience. Jigbody, hey guys. Honestly, this one I'm still learning. I'm a learner, guys. Patience. Oh, patience. Honestly, patience is something that motherhood should teach. It's not the easiest thing, to be honest. I won't lie to you guys. It's not the easiest thing, but patience is very, very necessary as a mother. as I'm saying the patience, so many scenarios. I'm sure you're wondering why I'm reacting like that, but so many scenarios are playing in my head where I've literally had to restrict myself. Oh my goodness, guys, it's crazy. It really is crazy. But yeah, patience is one of the things that motherhood should teach us. So that's something you should be ready to have lots and lots and lots and lots of if you are planning to be a mom, or if you're a mom already. Patience has to be like, you will have to have a truckload of it. Literally, you have to have a truckload of, patience to do this motherhood thing, right? So we're just gonna, we're appreciating all maternal figures. And remember, I said it that, it doesn't have to be your biological mom. So we're appreciating all the aunties who are doubling as moms. We're appreciating all the guardians who are doubling as moms. We're appreciating all those women in our lives who are older, wiser. And like I said, it doesn't have to be that the person can give birth to you, like literally the person is 10 or 15 or 20 years older than you, or like whatever number of years you think, qualifies someone for a mother role. You can have someone who is motherly to you and is just only maybe 8 years older than you or 10 years older than you, and they can stand in the place of mother in your life. So yeah, we're appreciating to all the women who are being moms, even though you did not biologically give birth to us, even though you did not biologically give birth to the people that you're mothering. We love you, we see you, we appreciate you, you are amazing, you make our lives better, and we are grateful for you. We are grateful that you're in our lives. We are grateful that you make yourselves available for us on a daily basis. You are just simply amazing. Grandmothers, we say thank you. Grandmas, we say, I don't have any grandma anymore, but yeah, I have some older women in my life who could be my grandmother and have been so amazing to me and, just love me unconditionally. We see you, we say thank you. To godmothers, I'm a godmother to an amazing teenager. I don't see her very often because she does not live in the UK. However, that was the first motherhood role that I guess I would say I had. That was my first motherhood role before I became a mom. I don't have any daughters of my own, so that just makes me very glad that at least I'm the godmother to an amazing girl. I love you, Shindara. So to godmothers, I say a very big thank you. We appreciate you. We see you. We see what you do, and we are grateful. We are very, very grateful for you. We don't take it for granted. So Precious says to all the mamas that Dempsey Grant has given to me, she's saying thank you as well. Dempsey Grant is our fan base for two amazing dancers in Ghana who have made me decide to leave my nationality and run to Ghana. And I would be shouting out to their moms as well, because their moms are amazing. Mama Dempsey, we say thank amazing talents for giving us this amazing people. We say thank you. So we just want to love up on mothers and mother figures today, because their sacrifice should not go unnoticed. Their sacrifice should not go without being acknowledged. We love you and we say thank you. Motherhood is not just a role. It is a form of everyday sacrifice that often goes unseen. Our job, you can't even do job description for motherhood, because there will not be enough paper in the world to write out the job description of mothers. There would not be enough space in the world, in the cloud, even in cloud storage, to itemize every single thing that mothers do every day. We are grateful. We're grateful. It's not just a role, and I'm so grateful, especially for women who haven't birthed people and are playing that mother. I think that's actually it deserves a special mention. It deserves a special appreciation, because for you not to birth someone, I know how I feel about my children. And I have a few people, I wouldn't say I'm their mother because, well, I feel like I don't know whether I'm old enough to be calling those people my children, but I have people in my life who look up to me so much and even call me mom, and I'm not sure that I'm doing enough just yet. I mean, they're my prayers and all. I'm not sure I'm doing enough just yet to, qualify as their mothers, but I'm hoping that I'm able to, as much as I can, extend that to those who don't have that luxury, who don't have that feeling just now, who are, looking to fill a void. I hope that you, even in your little corner where you are, if you have your biological children or you don't have your biological children, commit to, being a mother to that person who may need that void filled. I think that's something I'll challenge us to do, and I'm challenging myself as well to do, is to look for someone who's not my biological child who needs that void filled, and feel it, basically feel it. So we're rounding up, we're rounding up right now. I'll play one last song once we round up, and then I'll just quickly touch on the grand watch party that's happening tonight. Hopefully someone on the FYP who has decided not to come onto the live is in Ghana and wants to watch the match. I have a plug for you. So I'll be talking about that in a little bit. So again, finally, yes, darling, I'm rounding up in the next 3 minutes, so I need to rush through my script. So yeah, just again, Mama, Mrs. Bola Oshinyemi, I love you very much, Mommy. I'm very grateful for you, and I bless God for giving you to me as my mom. I love you. I love you. I love you. I may not say it enough. I'm hoping that I show it enough, and I'm hoping that, and I'm praying that I continue to make you proud, and I raise my children as well as you have, and even exceed what you've been able to do for me, Anokbe. Thank you, Mama. Thank you so much for being the very best mom that I could ever ask for. If I could give you one thing today, it would be the ability for you to see yourself through my eyes, because you, Mama, are one of the greatest gifts that God ever gave to me. I love you so much. So, to every mom remembering their mom and the unseen strength you carry in memory. So sometimes, our moms are no longer here and you carry them in your hearts. So we just say thank you. And to my mom, happy birthday, Mama. I love you beyond words. I love you beyond words can say. So just before we round up, I just want to touch on the grand watch party. So Ghana is playing Panama today at 11 p.m. Ghana time. That will be 12 a.m. UK time, 11 p.m. 12 p.m. Nigerian time, 12 a.m. Nigerian time. And Endurance Grand has set up a watch party. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm so jealous. I want to be in Ghana so bad right now, but unfortunately I can't be, so I don't want to dwell on it too much. So it's holding today at ST's B Event Center. Free entry is free, guys. God, the way I want to be in Ghana right now, I can't even explain, but yeah, we're hoping and we're praying, fingers crossed, we want Ghana to win the match. So guys, pray along with us. If you can't be there, pray along with us. And if you're in Ghana and you're listening to me, pull up to ST's B Event Center. Olive the Boy is going to be performing. DWP Academy is going to be performing. The creators are going to be performing. Oh my God. Setup is ongoing. I am so jealous. Anyway, so yeah, I'm rounding up today with Adekunle Gold's Mama. I love the song very much. And that's my prayer for you today and always, Mom. And I hope that that will be the prayer of everyone for, their moms or their mother figures in their lives. Thank you guys so much for listening today. It has been Candid Moments with Fortunate. And I am your host for today in his creative mind. See you same time, same place next week at 4 p.m. Please